Got some good news. Finally got a new daily. Sounds like a golf. Yeah, so I'm just drove it over here. First time driving it, you know, knowing that it's all like insured and mine and all that stuff. Just actually didn't drive it fast at all, but just radio off, hearing the turbo sounds. Yeah, absolutely love it. It's so comfortable. It's a little bit choppy on bumps and stuff. I'd say probably more than a GTi. So yeah, I've driven Mark 5, Mark 6 GTi, so it really does remind me of them. Except the car does feel different as well, like the chassis. Just with it being kind of lower and shorter and all that. So I haven't gotten up to speed, but it's honestly a match for me so perfectly, because I just like, that's a really practical car to me compared to the Skyline. My wife has a nice 5-door Mazda 3, so if we ever really need to be super practical, we have that. But like, you know, it's 4 seats, it's got a boot in it, and that can fit a lot more stuff than the Skyline. The seats it's much easier to get in and out of the Skyline. I don't have to keep it in the garage. I can just hop in it. There's parts everywhere for them, and yeah, I'm not too worried about it. You know, so yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. I think they're a really good looking car. I even think those wheels really, really suit them, but they're unfortunately on every Passat, and they came on a lot of Passats, and then they've been put on a load of really shit Volkswagens over here. So I'm kind of thinking about changing it up, maybe doing a bit of a J spec on it. But I think the wheels I'm looking at anyways, they would probably work well for a car in the future, so I might just import them and see how that goes. But so I mentioned the boot. This probably works better when the sound is on, but this is really, really nicely done. Yeah, I love it. In the ad, I really wanted to go and look at it. On the drive back, I was a little bit tired of it. I want to be able to turn the bass down a little bit. I'm just a little bit too old for that now, I feel like the sound is just imbalanced. I like bass still, but if you turn off the volume and then the bass just kind of overpowers everything, it's a little bit annoying. But yeah, I'm going to probably keep that in, because it actually doesn't take up that much room in the boot, and the boot is small anyways, and I don't think I'm going to be able to fit my bike in the back without like putting the seat all the way forward. So I got the seat sucker. It's a German car, nice solid roof on them, I mean, compared to Japanese, so I shouldn't see any issue with putting the bike on there. I'm really smitten. I think the back angle on these things is so cool. Like, no golf looks like that. I managed with the Skyline from March, I think it was the end of February. We're now halfway through October, so to get this far was good. I'm glad that I held out. That one only came up for sale like a week before I bought it, so I was glad that I jumped on it and didn't let it slip through, because with the colour and the spec and the mods, just like even the sound system and stuff, I really like it. So Scirocco's a pretty small boots, so I'm not sure if it's going to fit, and I don't think I wanted to, because like you can see just how dirty the bike gets. So yeah, my thinking is I bought this a while ago. This is probably going to be better, I feel like, than the clamp on, but the beauty of it is that, you know, I can put this on a Mazda. Any other car that I get in the future, I can still use this. So I feel like if it works well, and also I'm not super into how roof racks look. I know some people really like them, but for me, yeah, I just kind of prefer the slick look. So. Alright, so I've got the bike on. I think I did it wrong the first time, so I didn't have it on the windscreen, so I think that makes a lot more sense. That way you're not putting pressure on the roof, and I guess you gotta say that ain't going anywhere, and then it should be alright. Yeah, so I just pulled up for some photos here, and I accidentally hit off the wiper, and yeah, so the wiper actually hit the seat sucker. So I think one thing that I learned, I'm gonna see where that's going. So I guess if I mount the bike in the middle, I'll be still able to put it on the window and use the wipers. So yeah, good thing that, you know, I wasn't like in the middle of the rain and then I needed to stop and all that. So yeah, good thing testing it out. It's gone well so far, and that did actually like loosen the seat sucker because it was hitting off it kind of like your finger would. So I'm gonna try and take them off. But yeah, I've done dual carriage driving, I've done a bit of a backcountry driving, so I'm very happy. And yeah, I messed around with the levels on the subwoofer, and I've gotten it to a nice point now where the bass is, I've turned down the bass. I think I actually left the treble and the mid in the middle and then turned the bass all the way down. I tried turning them up more, but then it got a bit too tinny, so now it's just like, there's a nice thump when in certain parts of songs, and then when you turn it up there's even more, but like before it was like, you know, you couldn't really hear. It was at that point almost where like you wanted a bit more volume and then it would just be too much bass. So yeah, anyways, very simple stuff. But yeah, so that I'm definitely going to keep it now because the tire fits in the boot. And yeah, it sounds great. Yeah, I haven't really done anything with the Scirocco. It's over there, doing Volkswagen things, throwing sensors, really annoying. But when I bought the car, the first week I ended up looking at wheels and I couldn't really find anything locally, so then, or at least that I liked, so I was like, oh, I'll just import some wheels because coming up to the winter, and I was like, oh, I'll just get some wheels from my JDM distro. They'll be in the spring. You can see it doesn't look like spring in Ireland. Never looks like this in Ireland in spring. So yeah, it's summertime now, it's May, and the wheels only came in, so they had some delays. Yeah, so I'm going down to pick up the wheels. The plan was always to drive the Scirocco down, but it hasn't really been, it hasn't left me stranded, but it goes into limp mode quite often. I'm still trying to figure it out. So I've already bought the replacement for the car. These wheels are specific to that, so I'm excited to pick up the wheels. I also got some new Skyline, but yeah, it's one of those days. Anyways, it'd be cool to see the wheels, and glad they're finally in. At least they didn't come in afterwards. I can still try them on, maybe leave them on it while I have it, but I'm probably not going to do the other mods like lowering it and put a lip on, just because I don't want to put money into that car anymore. So anyways, yeah, sure, we'll catch up when I'm down in distro. The wheels finally came in, and I went down yesterday to pick them up. Yeah, I'm glad to get them fitted. We didn't have time yesterday. So there they are. So they're SSR EX02 Executors 02. Navis. They're in pretty good nick. A little bit of rash here and there, but they're pretty good tires on them. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what they look like. The only thing is, these things are really raised up at the front. Alright. These things are so shiny. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, that looks good. It's obviously very high in the front. The back is unreal because the subs have collapsed. The stuff I hear myself saying, it's just not my style, but yeah, like it really isn't a bad car, but those are nice wheels. It's like the the demons on the shoulder just being like, you know, whichever one. It's like, just do it, lower it. But honestly, it's more of a time thing. I mean, the money is one thing. I do think you could probably kind of sell the dream with this car, if it had the coilovers. Alright, so busy. This car has been sitting up for months now. I put it into the NCT. I was hoping to kind of sell it right away. I went down on a couple of things. Front drop links, CV boot, rear shocks and springs. So put in the rear shocks and springs when they came out to do the CV boot, got it on fine, and then snapped 3 of the bolts for the bottom ball joint, and yeah, just didn't get back to it. It was a relatively small thing, got the part, but just did not have time to kind of get back to it. Had this weekend to really like just spend the time with it. Typical, you know, kind of running into small things here and there, just not really a platform I'm familiar with, but got it changed out anyways. I haven't test driven it, really. I just drove it back and forth to here where it's been living for the last few months. The reason I haven't test drove it yet is it's disgusting in here. So the thing with these, most kind of coupes with these pillarless doors, these days they drop the window down, but this was being a pain in the ass. So Volkswagen, when it detects, I think, that the battery goes dead, it drops the window, so it did get kind of damp in here, and the dogs are loving the smell. It's also just full of tools and spare parts, and yeah, it's just full to the brim, full of old parts and all the crap. So this is actually a nice car. Like, the bodywork is really clean on it. Yeah, it's running badly, as it was when I parked it up. So I've gotten a new one, well, an old one of these. This is a spurious one. I was recommended to change it out for OEM used, so I'll give that a go, and hopefully that gets rid of the issue. Yeah, here's the one that was in the car. So it's pretty new, but it's an aftermarket. What brand is it? I don't know. I was told it was pretty cheap anyways for people who know these cars. So I just got a junkyard one, and hopefully that works. So it's not too bad. Just something about that length. It's perfect. You can get out all of them then. I did not figure it out for one of them, that actually worked on all of them. I was trying to budget different stuff, but yeah. That's good. And then you just take off the boost pipe section here and one of the plugs. And yeah, it's only 4 bolts, so it took me a while, but now I know how to do it. So it's the joys. Okay, good. I couldn't do that last time, so something's changed. Okay, light's gone off for now. But I guess I could finally take this thing on a test drive. So hopefully that will fix something. So yeah, seemed to drive okay the first test drive. Well, actually drove the best it's driven in a long time. So I guess that throttle was a big part of the issue. Yeah, suspension feels good. First time in a while driving it with actual long springs and good shocks in the back. NCT failure, so I went down with the front shocks. So I got some new shocks, and I've just had already done the rear on the previous test. So I went in for a retest, failed on the front shocks ever so slightly, and failed on the other CV boot on the other side. So I've just been doing that. But my initial, when I got this car, I wanted to get coilovers for it, and I just should have. If I spent more time on looking at the suspension, I would have seen, hey, yeah, it definitely needs new suspension. I would have just put it in. But now it's kind of gone full circle. So I bought new OEM replacement shocks for the rear, now for the front. And I said, hey, the main reason I didn't put in lowering springs last time I was doing the rear shocks was like, I just didn't want to have to take apart the front, because it is a bit of a pain. It's quite a lot. So it is not the worst, but kind of overly complicated German. This is, I think, the easiest way to actually do it, especially when I'm already doing the CV boot. I think you can leave, you could just, the other way would be to really just leverage on the lower control arm, but I don't think that would have been too easy. So anyways, yeah, so I've been at that, but I decided to get some lowering springs, so why not? So yeah, while I'm doing the shocks, I'm going to lower. I'm going to get this thing shifted on. It's coming into the spring now, so hopefully with the nice wheels and everything, it'll look good. So and it's actually driving great, so should be a reasonably easy sell. Yeah, do a few other tidy bits, but yeah, main thing is just to get the NCT on it now, and once that's on it, I'll stick it up for, I don't know, $5 maybe. If I get 4 for it, even with the wheels, I think I'll just let it loose. I just need this. I need a space. I want to put the Skyline in here, so it's taking up space. It's money that I could use. So yeah, it's time for it to go. So yeah, this guide I'm selling is getting lots of new bits. It definitely would have been handier and cost about the same to have gotten coilovers at this point, but yeah, I waited a couple of days for the right tool to take off the top hat, and the top hat actually, or the shock actually split. I wasn't applying any much force on it, I had lots of heat on it, lots of lubrication, but so I just decided to cut my losses and get some new top mount. So hopefully they're correct, and assemble just a new suspension. I don't think I need anything from that, and finally get this done, because I got the NCT in my 2 days. I started this a couple of days ago. I was taking my time, but anyways, want to get the fucking lowering springs in, want to get this car back and NCT'd and sold. So yeah, there's the comparison. Like I said, whoever's getting this is some real next level, you know, car fairy action. My friend I coined that term because he's kind of like me. Had some cool cars, and they're usually in the best. I think a lot of people are. I think most people are kind of handy or like this. I don't know if I'm handy, but you know what I mean. But you do your own work. The car is usually the best when you actually sell it. It's on now, so do a quick dusting of paint on the brakes as well one more time, and show that got the nice wheels on the back, and then yeah, we'll see what it looks like. Then gotta start the car up, have my dinner, and get cracking on the other side. I think if I get the other side apart, I think I should be able to get it done tonight. It'll probably be a bit of a late one, but yeah, it will be nice to get it done. So thankfully I started this last night, and this bolt really fought me, but thankfully managed to get it salvaged. It wouldn't have been able to get another one until tomorrow, so then it's tonight. I think everything's done. Just gonna tie up this old cable from the electronic shocks. Everything is tightened up bolt wise, with the new springs and new shocks. And yeah, going to take off the mud flaps, paint up the calipers on this side, and then bring everything to tea. Maybe give it a wash. I'm not sure if I'll have time today, and if not, tomorrow. And then yeah, that'll kind of be it. I'll get it up for sale. So yeah, these were great for keeping the car clean, but I will take them off and maybe reuse a little bit. They're a bit agri-spec. They work, especially with the standard wheels, but I think it'll look better without them. It's definitely not slammed, but these are so high stock. It's kind of crazy. So, but yeah, it definitely looks great. So yeah, I'm gonna put it outside, clean up the garage, and get ready for the NCT. Hopefully it all goes well. So yeah, the Scirocco passed the NCT. I'm really happy about that. I think I changed my mind just as I was pulling in the car. Listening to a song on the speaker. I don't know. I think I kind of want to keep it. I think I can get good money for it. I know I put it up for sale for like 400 quid before, and I had a lot of interest. I'm gonna see how hard it is to take it out, because I did have a message from somebody last night, and this was kind of my instinct, even though he was like a petrol head. Now, he could have been a pure time waster, but he was kind of like, oh, like how standard is the car? So I'm kind of like, if it doesn't sell kind of the way it is, although definitely like I have an add up with both the standard wheels and the cool wheels. But I'm thinking if I can make it, because I have the standard airbox and a new filter as well, I was going to put that on. So kind of like, you know, standard Scirocco, really good paint, standard wheels in good nick, probably potentially be the better. Just found my torque wrench for my mountain bike. I was wondering where this was. Been missing it for about a year. Really is nicely done, at least, but yeah, it's wired in properly. So yeah, I think if I can pull that through, then that's half the battle. Actually didn't take too long at all, so back seat just pops up. I was able to pull the wire through. The earth is just bolted in underneath the back seat, and the remote wires are just spliced in there, so I can just snip those and take the whole thing out, and then I'll have a seat installed. Just gonna hop on Dundee now and update the ad to take take the sound system off it. Alright, yeah, so just editing the video on the Scirocco. So yeah, I had it as my daily driver for a year. I owned it for about a year and a half by the time I actually sold it. So I did sell it yesterday. So that's awesome. As you can see, the skyline's behind me. Not sure if you can see the other car, maybe probably peeking in behind it, but that is my new daily. So I have a video ready to go on that. That was very fun, picking all that up. But yeah, editing this video, it's pretty funny. Kind of seeing, I watch a lot of YouTube. It does show that the kind of cars that require more work do just kind of create more content. So yeah, it was a lot of work getting that car ready for very simple things that I would have done on a Japanese car very quickly. And also just with it being a Northern Ireland car, it wasn't actually very rusty underneath, but I still had a lot of bolts give me a hard time. So the propane torch, WD-40 and breaker bars are very much in rotation, but there's just a lot of like smaller bolts that they tend to snap on those cars. So yeah, got it done, got it in NCT, put it up for sale. Like I was saying, took the sound system out, updated the ad, and then lowered the price slightly, and that seemed to be the sweet spot. Got a text the next day from a couple of people, and one person I could kind of tell was more serious and would be easy to deal with. He offered me a nice price over the phone. Normally used to not take that, but I was like, you know what, I do want to get this car quick, and I was like, look, even if he haggles me down a little bit in person, I'll probably still, you know, I had a number in my head, kind of $4,000, but yeah, so I got 4,500 for it. He came, he loved the car. I mean, it was looking really good and it was driving really well. So you got a good car, buddy. Breakdown on the car. So the Man Mats, I bought it in 2023 for 5,000. It had about a year's tax on it. So in Ireland, that it equated, it was a little under. I think I worked it out as about 600. They're 790 for the year, so it was about 600. So I was saying that car was 44, you know, just the car itself. So I got 4.5 for it. I added up everything that I kind of put into it. Scan tool was one of the things. Thankfully, you know, the throttle was a €20 fix, and the suspension I think added up to maybe 400 quid, and there was a couple of other things in there, servicing. I put everything in there. So that was about 700. So it was the 44. So yeah. 51, I guess. So yeah, but 600-700 was kind of what I think it came to, pretty much. What it cost me to own that car. I had it for, what did I put on it? I put, I think 14,000 kilometers on it. I pretty rallied it. You know, I was using it as a mountain biking car, and I did really well at that. And an everything car, and it's just really good. And it kind of got me to figure out what I wanted next. I still have the sound system out of it, so if I get a few hundred for that, that'll make that 700 less. I still have the stock wheels, but those weren't included. I guess if I lose money on those, then it kind of technically makes the car a little bit more expensive. But I think for what I'm into those, I should be able to get what I want for them, or I'll just keep them because even the tires on them are awesome, and they may work on a 5x114 car. They won't work on my daily, unfortunately. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I know it was a long one, but I hope it was a good one. I think it was pretty cool having all the footage, kind of seeing the emotional roller coaster. I guess I can wrap it up with what I think about the car. I really liked it. I know there was definitely points where you could see I was pretty beaten down by the car. That throttle issue was very intermittent. It was just kicking my ass. There was a lot of things kind of going on in my life and my work that meant I just had very limited time to kind of debug it. But it turned out it was a really easy fix. So kind of wish I had done that earlier, but I don't know if I would have gotten the cool car that I got instead. So yeah, driving it is a really nice car. It would have been a nice one if I kind of had unlimited space to keep, because it just has like more comfort than anything that I had. But it was quite high kilometers, pretty old. I think I don't really have the time for messing with a car like that. I've never really had cars that have kind of needed that much kind of painful kind of, you know, breaking bolts, things like that. So, you know, that can just really turn a couple of minute job into a couple of day ordeal. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep to the Japanese imports. Maybe I'll import a German car from Japan, see what that's all about, see if they're really clean, see how they go. Volkswagen, BMW, you make really nice cars. So do Audi too. But there's a lot of them that I do want to own, but I just don't know if I want to go down that route again. I feel such a weight off my shoulder now having 3 Japanese cars. And even though one of them, a lot of the parts are made by probably one of the worst Japanese manufacturers, it's still pretty good. So I'll give you a clue. For those of you who know me, you already know what I have. I've had it for a while. But even if you do, I'm going to show the video of me picking it up and getting it all ready and all the kind of fun that I had with revenue in that one. So anyway, long video. We'll leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. I'll get the next one out as soon as possible. See you later.